Hello, hello. I believe you people. Let's see who's kind of an odd time. Frothy KK, Abracadabra. Streaming to the Nightbot. How's the audio with the cool? Might give it one more minute. Lubed Helios, hello. How are you doing today, bud? Oh, sorry to hear, man. Well, the video will be it'll be up on YouTube after this. How's everybody doing on this fine Sunday afternoon? Some of you are probably in the morning still. All right, well, I'll go ahead and get started. So today, switch that up. Today, I've got some novel creams. So what I did, whenever I got these in, because I'm slowly becoming a linear guy. Maybe not even a linear guy. I still like tactile, but I'm slowly starting to appreciate linears. And so I got novel creams in, and then I watched a stream from Nathan Kim, and he made Pacos, and I was like, all right, well, I've got these novel creams, I've got extra Halo stems, let's try them out. Really liked them for a while, and then I decided to I used MX Black Springs on those, and then I was like, I bet those feel really good in a Holy Red Panda, and they did. So I am going to remake the Novelkeys creams with 80 gram springs from, this is made basically just an MX Black with cream stem, lubed 3204. So the stems are already lubed. When I pop those out, I'm just gonna put them back in. Because they're linears, I box lubed them or tub lubed them, but I have not lubed the housings for the metal. So I'm going to be using what little I have left of 3204. Got this from Zeal a while back, and then I do have some more 3204 from 1UP. I really like 1UP. We're not sponsored by anyone, but I think 1UP is one of my favorite companies in keyboards. So gonna get started. See who's in chat. Fencing Goat, welcome. Frothy again. Ugrosa, John at Zap. If you guys can get a... We got John at Zap. Thank you for the follow. So John runs Zap cables, and he is... his cables are great. I am waiting to get in on one of his runs because they are extremely popular, thus can be difficult to get. But I do have one that my wife's using right now that I really like. So I'm not, by the way, a lube expert, but what's going on? Taphophobia, welcome. Lubing some novel creams. But I'm not an expert by any means in lubing, but really what all I'm doing I don't lube the center post at all. I find it to be not super helpful, but I just lube the rails on the inside with just the thin layer. It's 3204, so the lube is gonna do its work. It's already a really thick lube. 3204 is great for linears. Tactiles, it really needs to be a good tactile. Personally, you get it has to be a really tactile switch for it to be kind of useful. I have my Holy Jesus switches in this board with 3204, but it did take about a month to break in and really get the tech. John, this is a D3400 by Nikon. Nothing special. I am not a camera expert by any means. I just knew that I needed something. Welcome, German. I needed something, you know, a little better to take nicer pictures of keyboards, and I also, you know, with videoing, and then my wife does a lot of cooking, and I wanted to be able to take a lot of great pictures for her. So, yeah, I'm not really an expert at anything except maybe like Dragon Ball Z. I could talk to you for hours about that. I have a lot of worthless skills. So, Jerwin, welcome. Sorry about Twitch notification. I too do not care too much for the notification settings because sometimes I get like 4, and sometimes for the same stream, and sometimes I miss an entire stream. Tafa, yeah, the cable. So this is from Mech Cables. I just realized I'm blocking that entire cable, but it's a great cable. Goes great with camping. Got the camping desk mat under this as well. So, buy cream switches after 3 days from seeing inventory sold out. Yep, they're making waves. I will say you do kind of have to lube them. They can be real scratchy. The funniest part of them is they smell like absolute death when you first get them. It's like weird. It literally smells like rotten fish when you first get them. And it's strange to say the least. But no, if you guys probably, I've eaten a lot of gross things in life. I don't know if I will ever eat lube. I feel like that doesn't come out or that comes out about the same way it goes in.
What's with the weed? Actually, Eddie, it's a very rare flower.
Or any of y'all have? Do y'all have any keyboard plans for the long weekend? My FC660C factory silence is on. That sounds like it will be a fun board and a long week. Trash Pandas cleared customs after weeks of just... Holy raccoons, man. I saw someone post, they made Trash Pandas with the clear stem, or not clear, but true stems. And although it does kind of go against the, Holy Raccoon theme, what they look. And I'm sure, I mean, I've got Holy Red Pandas that work fantastically, and I'm sure that they're going to be great. What springs are you planning on putting in them, Jerwin? Oh, it's not unfortunate. I think they look awesome. I think it doesn't, it doesn't have like the, I guess, if you're going with a theme of like holy trash pandas or holy raccoons, it doesn't. I don't know a lot of raccoons that are pink, but I could be wrong. I think they're gonna look awesome regardless. Granted, they're gonna be covered by keycaps, so all about the felios. Yeah, reds look really good, but honestly, I think I like the mints more. Although, after I got reds and they announced the mints, I was like, as much as I love the color mint and just the kind of like seafoamy color, I was kind of sad that I didn't get in on them. My dogs are having some crazy zoomies right now. Although Holy Red Pandas does sound better than Holy Mint Pandas. Or Mint Yawks, I don't know what they're calling them. My dogs just went on a walk. They are amped up. Got reds, we'll use Boston. There you go. All the warm colors. Geo, how's it going, man? Purple would have been interesting. That would have been a, I don't know. I didn't really know what I was expecting. I was honestly thinking it might have been like bright yellow, but I was wrong. But I think I feel like the gray was a safe bet, and I like that he's keeping those in stock. So I can bet you. I don't know if I'm happy or sad about you watching me in bed, but you know what? I appreciate you. I still, yeah, German. I still wish they called them holy raccoons. I mean, I guess I get it because you need to have panda in the name, but I might pick up some holy raccoons. Eventually, I've got a bag full of stems just sitting, but I also don't know if I want, because I have holy Jesus switches, basically thing. I don't know if I need, and I've got drop. Well, when I order them, they were mass drop, so they're mass drop holy pandas. Second round of holy pandas are going to be just drop pandas. I've got mass drop holy pandas coming in too, so I don't know if I want that many of the same switch. If the Lumina ever comes in, got Zelios 78 grams waiting for that, but no news the last couple weeks. He sent some prototypes from his, I guess, new manufacturer, and I was really stoked. And then kind of been, I guess they're dealing with production quantity. But we'll see how that all turns out. Yeah, variety is nice. I feel like though, if I want to use the same switch on a different board, I would want the board to be a different layout, or at least a different size altogether. Like I have Zelios going into my I have Zelios going into the Illumina, and I'd be okay using Zelios again. I just don't know if I would want to put it in another 60%. Maybe like a, I don't know. We'll see how much the U80 is. So these switches are probably going to be, I'm going to put them in my TX60 today, but I don't know my plans yet for them. I thought about putting them in the M0110 when that shows up, hopefully this year. But we'll see how I like them in the TX60, because I had Holy Red Pandas in my gray TX60, but I don't know, you know, if I don't want TX60 with both Red Pandas and switches. Seems like overkill. Yeah, I am, man. I am. I got in. So I was in on the TR60, and that showed up about 4 months late. And I had that. So that group buy came out right before like the tofu craze. I think the normal tofu had come out. Just the case. And then when they started releasing the integrated plates, tofu, I had already gotten the Win keyless one. I did not get Bluetooth. I got an HHKB one. And I built it, and it was great, and I typed on it for a little while, and I was like, this is awesome. But in December, I kind of went through I gutted my collection, because I had a lot of stuff that I didn't want. And I kind of put the TR60 up for, what's up, Osiris? I put it up for a price that was kind of making money off of it. Not really flip, because I did put some Telios in there. But I put it up, not really thinking it would sell, and sold it to some guy. And he really liked it. He messaged me back, and he was like, well, never mind, I stand corrected. So, not that he was like going to return it or anything, but I spring swapped the Telios to 80 grams, which is what I'm doing here, because I like a heavier linear. And wound up selling it, and I was okay with it. It was a cool board, but I had to get the enter in, I had to Dremel out part of the plate, the integrated plate. And I was not a big fan of that. That was a weird build experience. Great board, but I don't know. I think after it got delayed a few months, and it is cool that it's Bluetooth. You know, I appreciate that there just aren't a whole lot of Bluetooth boards, but I don't think it was doing anything better than what the Tofu boards were doing, other than obviously Bluetooth. And me not getting a Bluetooth didn't really mean that it was worth keeping around. It would have been cool. I wish, yeah, I kind of, after thinking about it, I wish I had gotten the Bluetooth. That would have been nice to have just something a little different, something I could like hook up, you know, make it like a laptop set up out in my living room with a TV on the couch, and not have to type on rubber domes. That thing was small too, and like really compact. It had really good edges. It had really nice edges and stuff, and it was really compact. I put DSA Honeywell on it. It was like a really cool compact board. And you might be seeing live buyer's remorse right now, or seller's remorse, but I miss it. But it was, I needed to get rid of some boards. Get over here by the. The only thing I'm not a fan of the novel creams is hard to tell if you've already lubed one. If you're like me and you get lost on where you are. Be hard to figure out which ones you left out at. If you have yet to subscribe, if you're on here and you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, give it a look. We have a fun little video coming out Tuesday. A special video for getting to 10 episodes. It's a good episode. It's a fun. It's good to watch. I would not. I would make sure to watch it as just listen to. I'm not the prettiest face to look at the whole time, which I guess is okay that you're only looking at the top of my head, but so not the worst listening experience, but Eric's the pretty boy. Let him be the pretty boy of it. But this video, it's fun. So if y'all are just now joining or hopping in, welcome. This is just a little chill Sunday stream. We are working on the affiliate for this channel, and so I just decided to do a little switch work. Jay from Top Clack streaming here in a few hours, and I just wanted to squeeze it in on the long weekend, catch some early risers. Alright. The lubing is done. I've got to take apart my MX blacks that I coined. Not really worth it. Orange rebuild next week. Heck yeah. Once again, I just made these as a fun linear. I had 80 gram 80-gram springs that I wanted. I really like the Telios that I had them in, but now we're gonna try it with the novel creams. So, I have a little. It's my dirty and soon-to-be retired switch opener. Cyrus and I got in on the, at the time, mass drop, currently drop from the KBD fan switch openers. So once those come in, this thing will be history. By the way, these are like little like banana bread boxes that you can get like any grocery store, and they are super cheap and work great for putting stuff in switches wise, keyboard stuff. I don't have a link because I kind of maybe have stole them from my wife, and maybe she wasn't the most thrilled about it, but so yeah, I would highly recommend getting a switch opener if you're going to be a little bit you know, you can, they're starting to pop up everywhere, these fancy metal ones, but you know, the old school styles with tweezers, you kind of poke, turn, poke. That took like 10 seconds, where about 10 seconds I could probably get 3 done. One of these, so highly recommend getting a switch opener, maybe 2, but it's still. I don't know what I want. I do need to tell. Zeal, if anyone don't know, Zeal is doing a Switch sale right now, 20% off. And I do need to look up what I know I want 78 gram Zelios. I just don't know how many. I don't know if I want to put that in. I don't know if I put that in the KBD A deck. If I can't really just get enough for a 60 and then hope for the best on a TKL. So we've got the next couple weeks planned out of what we really want to talk about, but I know we have been discussing Switch modding for a while about getting that episode up. Here's a snippet of the stream. It's tedious. It's tedious, but it's super worth it, and I know there's that kind of... I personally did, I know for sure, as I fell into the trap of once you start lubing switches, it is hard to go back. Does anybody do anything fun for the long weekend? I know my wife and I were super stoked at least to just sit back and relax. Pool party. Heck yeah. Our pool at our apartment has been shut down temporarily due to something they're not telling us. We moved here a few months ago. Actually, kind of the reason Mechs on Deck probably got delayed a little bit is I was in the process of moving, and we moved to a nicer place. And within the first 3 months, like, the gate broke, and now the pool's out. It's been, I mean, infinitely better than the last place we lived at, but it was funny to see. The last place was fine. It was just, you know, over the course, you know, we lived there for 2 years, and over the first year really wasn't that bad. I mean, I know you had a much worse time than we did. It was... people moved out, not as... the rent went down. Which, I mean, you never want to see rent go up, but rent going down is never really a good sign. It was a bad. At least the dog was okay. And the last, like, we started seeing grocery carts show up around our apartment. And we're like, yep, time to leave. Starting to get to be that feeling. And like the closest grocery store was a few miles away, so it wasn't like right around the corner. Which just makes me curious as to how people even get that far. Alright, opened up these switches. Probably could have, but more time. Sorry for the loud noise. I'll probably remake MX Blacks eventually, but or not really. We do. Just blow out a wall of like one of the bedrooms. So just make a mega room. Tear down the fence. If you are curious, this is probably my least favorite part of putting springs back. I don't mind opening them up. Putting them back together is basically have to do the same thing 4 times. The same thing that you do 64 times 4 more times. $256. So I do not know where I got I don't remember where I got this little 3D printed switch mod station. Nothing fancy. It's just an 8x8 basically switch tester. You should get a switch tester. I don't know if I've ever said that. They're really fun. Geo really suggests them. Geo once said to me, the only way you can truly know how a switch feels is on a switch tester. Yeah, I wish more people made these, just because I know whenever someone sees them in an Instagram post or in person, I've been asked multiple times for this to be bought. It looks just like it. It's not, but I think the big one's a 5x5. One I have. I mean, very similar. Plus his have an angle. Bit of an angle. I don't know if he prints them or if he has them made, but I feel like he would really make some good money if he switch modding station. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting one. You know, yeah, you put this. They have the stems that you can. They have the little cross sections. So you can put the stem upside down. That'd be ideal. I had not seen those, but someone specifically makes them. But that would be the best. What I do. And typically whenever this was a little different because I didn't do the stems, and lubing the stems to me is the most tedious and hardest part about lubing. But that would help with that. But I usually do in like batches of 20 to 24. I usually fill up, yeah, 24 I guess, because I usually fill up about 3 rows of this. And I'll do 20 and then relax and chill for a little while, because I realize that if I do any more than that, I run into the issue of getting impatient. One thing I am happy about with these novel creams is they are 5-pin. They are PCB mounted, and I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not soldering or anything. I'm just putting it back in a hot swap. But that I disassembled yesterday. But having the PCB mount on the hot swap is because the Yak Reds, the Holy Red Pandas, don't have their plate mounted, which leaves a little wobble in the entire switch on certain switches, especially like the backspace, as the plate is very openly cut to allow for multiple layouts. But when you're not soldering anything, I use split backspace, so when you're not soldering in top right two switches, they can wobble without the PCB mount. And the best part about these is you can complete the switch by pressing them in. You don't have to pop them out. So it's the first time I used this, I put them in this way instead of across, so I couldn't put the switch in. So once I was done lubing, I had to do everything. It drove me insane until I realized oh, that's what those holes are. So just starting to wrap up. Probably have would say 20 minutes left. Quick typing sounds. The MX Blacks or MX Blacks housings with MX or the cream stem. They sounded all right, but no, because I've still got a cream on my switch tester, and it does sound better. So I'm curious to know how much better the sound will be. So I don't know. I think I only had the MX Blacks in my tofu, or the MX cream stem. There we go. Pop these out. Is thrown in. And then we will get to build really quick. Shouldn't take very long. I'm actually curious on how fast I can put the switches in effectively and get them into, yeah, I mean, this thing like $15, I think it was $20 after shipping. Lifesaver. TX60 plate, sandwich mount, so I holes on the outside, and then I use up CB, hot swap, hanging. That's great. I might actually want to relube spacebar really. So this is the, sorry, this is the Nanch set that I use. $20 on Amazon. Everything has so much, gotten endless use out of it. And not just for keyboards as well. Right back. Some dialect. I use tune-up dielectric grease for my stabs. I've always used. It's worked. All that matters. Nothing too fancy about it. I still Band-Aid mod. I know that there's right now a small little, maybe not discrepancy, but just a polite argument, a debate on whether or not it's actually needed. Whoop, lost my camera. There we go. Close. Show you how I lube stabs. I put a little bit. Put an actually I can't talk. Never can. I use a pretty decent amount. Really tell. I usually put a sort of thick coating. I like them really smooth, but that you can overdo it really fast where they get kind of gummy. But the other thing, if you are using heavier springs, it will negate that. But I lube the actual inside stem some. I don't really go too heavy on this part. Make sure. Thank you. I think the most important part about this is making sure it's an even coating. Try not to leave too much on there. I just make sure to get I don't lightly brush it. I try and make sure to heavily get every single part to make sure it doesn't get too rattly, too quick. I'm actually glad I remembered to do this because this space bar was one side was getting real. I made sure to lightly apply it. And what I do is shove the whole thing in there, and I'll take my brush, get the excess off, and then lube the other. I know some people only do the wire. You know, I would just test it, see what's best for you. I prefer a very smooth, especially on my spacebar, very smooth experience. Even on very tactile switches. And these are clipped as well. I've used this board before, so they were pre-clipped, but definitely recommend doing less plastic on plastic touching. Better. messed up my stabilizer. Just a quick. Not a lot of rattle. No rattle. Very smooth. Very excited about this build. So even on hot swap boards, I still highly recommend you put some anchor switches in. It's just easier to get the rest of the switches in place. There's not like a picture out there that says here are your anchor switches. This is exactly what you should do. I try and do all the mods. Not all the mods, but I try and do anything with stabilizers so I can check them. Yeah, and then I try and go for corners and bottom, and this is going to be an HHKB, so I'm going to leave these bottom corners out. Yes, I would still recommend starting with the anchors. It keeps the plate in place as well, because if you notice, you can actually press the plate down and it will kind of get itself offset of the rest of the switches. Let's see, it's 116. We've got about 5 switches. 115. One thing absolutely worth noting, I would highly recommend make sure that you are putting you put the hot swap PCB under or on something so that when you press these switches in, you do not accidentally pop a socket. Though it is an incredibly easy fix, and if you do that, do not panic. It just does require an extra 15-20 minutes. Now maybe closer to 10, but if you don't have a soldering iron, like some people who buy a hot swap board might be doing to avoid that, it can be an issue. Still highly recommend you have a soldering iron if you are going to be doing anything with keyboards, unless you bought, you know, like a Kira, the Kira 96 key layout, and you just decide that you like box royals or something. That's then perfect, awesome for you, good restraint. But if you decide to do anything outside of buying a pre-built, I would recommend getting a So the 1-up PCB, both hot swaps, I guess, yeah, there are 2 hot swaps. There's an ANSI and then a Sangen 7U bottom row, which can be used for HHKB or Win keyless or a full layout, which is what this board is. as well as the PCB, the custom PCB, the soldering PCB, solderable, which is what this PCB is. They have north-facing LEDs, meaning the switches are usually put in where the LEDs. Oh, punching my. So typically these holes are here to be able to put LED through, but and that's usually going to be facing down switch. Get it this way, they're actually mounted. Some people said that certain keycaps they hit, but I have not experienced that personally. If they have, then maybe if you might want to find another PCB, but personally I've had no issues and I absolutely love this PCB. So 5 minutes, and I even stopped for about 30 seconds. I am going to test it though, really quick. Give me just a second. All right, so this is EK switch hitter. This is so I'm typing on my other TX60, my other build board. It lights up green whenever the switch, or it lights up blue when it's being pressed down, green when it actuates correctly. I recommend it. It's free, but a lot of people use. Yeah. See if we went 60 for 60. Red if it does chatter, yes. So if it does show up red, if it does show up red, the first thing I would do is clear it, reload it, see if it resets. Because sometimes I have had the issue of a false chatter. Granted, most of the time I just 60 for 6. But yeah, I would just look at if it's messing something up. That's something you'd want to pull up on a PCB. Let me switch back. That's something you would want before you even put switches in, is make sure to test the PCB. Now this build, I'm not doing a start to finish build because the PCB was already made. I already knew it worked. But if you are, if you get a brand new PCB, I would highly recommend, absolutely, make sure you take some tweezers and you just poke each, not poke the PCB. Get them to trigger. I can't really show it on this one, but basically there are 2 holes per switch where the key legs go into, and just touch them both with the metal tips and it'll get it to actuate. Stress, because a lot of people will not issue you a refund. Soraka W not learned. Welcome. My Razer keyboard sometimes gets stuck when I hit the button to quick speaking, like 10 milliseconds press. I guess that's soft. Could be. I don't have I don't have any recent the keyboard or the software. It's 2. Bought a clavier loop station. Is it group buy, or does he just kind of have them, or does he run them frequently, or what's the deal on that? I'm putting back together, especially cases that have a seam on the side, best to kind of keep don't tighten them all the way, kind of avoid the seam being misaligned. There it is. Creams upside down. TX60. Pop some caps on. Finish it up. Tried to get this done in an hour, but moving took a little bit longer. Of modern Dolch. Goes perfectly with this. Sorry for the. Almost done. Just getting the cap on. Do a quick typing demonstration just for the sounds, but I don't really have the best audio. Didn't know already. I don't really have the best audio, so I've got a mic arm coming in, which will help a lot. That's actually coming in today. I'm gonna be slowly up a couple things just to be able to have a little bit better sound quality, but I'll do a quick typing demonstration. I type horribly and super slow, so you feel free to make fun. Maybe I can convince my wife to come over here and do a typing demonstration. She said no. Hands look. She's miming to me that her hands look great, but face is not looking what she wants it to. I think she. Dude, Moto is an amazing set. Wish Dixie was here so I can give him the props. But that's right. That was probably really loud. There we have it. 80-gram springs, lubed with 3204. I'm gonna kind of suspend my mic. I have a fan blowing, so if that messes it up, sorry. And then I will do a very quick typing sounds so you can make fun. Alright, and that'll do it on this build. Mic audio went to poo. Alright, well. Is that better? Do I sound better? I don't know. If I switched it to be able to hear some. I don't have, like I said, I don't have the best mic to pick up keyboard sound. Check the connection. Maybe. Better now. Maybe. Oh, I probably should keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking, but I apologize if it's not fixed. So I don't really know what to talk about at this point. But yeah, that's the build. Novel Creams. I really like it. I'm gonna have to give it. Nope, no fix. It wouldn't be Mex on deck without audio issues. Check, check, checkity, check, check. At least it was good for most of it. What about now? Does this sound better? Any better, any worse? Any better, any worse? Fuzzier for sure. It's okay. Alright. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for stopping by. So we've got the video, we've got our weekly talk show that comes out Tuesday. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to, I'm going to go ahead and get this. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. I'm going to put the link in here as well as our Discord. Come hang out with us on Discord. We release videos on Tuesdays. We stream on, our next stream will be Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central. So just, make sure you're, hit us up. We'd love to hang out with you. And we'll be streaming a little bit more. We're trying to hit that affiliate, so we're going to be doing a few extra streams on the weekends. It'll be more solo streams like this one. I know Cyrus said he's going to be doing his Orange 75 rebuild, so that'll be fun to watch. And I think I've got maybe one more build that I can do. And maybe lose some Zelios. So, but thank you guys for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. Let us know in the comments, because I'm going to upload this later today on YouTube. Let us know in the comments if you liked it, what changed. Hit us up. Sorry about the audio issues right at the end. Like I said, we are working on that. So, yeah, thank you guys for stopping.